YouTube. So it's break time on Tuesday. As you can see there, the morning work on the other side of the floor is going well. It's about just under 2 hours of work there, and they got all that in. So they'll have that finished before dinner. And the order for the decking has been made this morning and should be delivered here around dinner time. So by the end of the day today, this should be the first layer of plywood sheeting. I don't know if they're using aspenite or actual plywood. We'll find out. But that's going to go on and bring it up to level. And then they're going to put a second layer across the whole house to really stiffen it up. And of course, they're going to be putting an acoustic sealant on top of every joist and then screwing the flooring down into that every joist. We opened up where the back door was today. This just might get framed in today because the door's not going to be there no more, so we're going to close that up a bit more. Also notice something here. This pipe here is cast iron. It's also the vent stack for the plumbing. And if you get right up here, this was closed in the wall, and it's actually cracked. So the sewer gases have been venting into that wall that stack was buried in. I don't know how long. Just all one more thing to the list of oddities we found in this house. Oh, so the guys got their tools out and they're cutting blocking. As the building inspector was here this morning at 8 o'clock, and he approved the floor reconstruction. He just wants blocking put between the joists halfway to stiffen them up. And I got no issues with that. But, you know, building inspectors, most people I know find them annoying, but that's I guess is another issue, eh? So we're down in the basement now, looking up underneath what they're doing, and you can see they're blocking between each joist on the sill here to stiffen them up, and joist hangers below, and the 2x4 here that's hanging below the mean beam, they're just using that as a level line so that all the joists are hanging at the same height. If you hear a little hissing, that is the palm hammer. There seems to be a seal leaking in that. So, yeah, we should have this finished off by today with some decking going down. And then over here on this end, we're going to get that plug pulled out, and they're going to sister another joist against here because of the opening for the stairs. It needs to be a double, maybe even a triple there. We'll find out later. And on this side from the original construction, you can see there is only one, so I don't know if the inspector is going to make them double or triple that up. We'll have to wait and see. And of course, you know, the plumbing manifold here, this is, I think, all going to come out today as well. Open that up because the inspector and the contractor and I all agree that the joist right here needs to be changed, and that floor needs to be pushed up a little bit because it is sagging noticeably where the joist is cut. And that's where I'd be sitting on my toilet before. So yeah. They also talked to the inspector about the beam I want to put up for the kitchen, and they're talking about having to have a post below down the foundation, and there is already one here. But from talking with the inspector, I think he wants them to take that post out and put a 4-ply thickness of 2x8 to make a post. Because he says it'll hold up more weight than the jack post that's poured in the cement there, that's original to the house. So we're gonna probably end up doing that, which is just good. If that's the case, it'll hold up the upstairs better. And I mean, you can see the difference. Like, this is a modern jack post right here, and you know, you got a good thickness to that, and you get these old posts, which, you know, they're solid in there, they're set, but they are quite a bit thinner than a modern jack post. God knows when the house was built that they just went and grabbed a length of piping and put that in there without any, you know, thought. A little loose. They might have to tighten those up a bit yet. That one's loose too. Well, maybe let me get to that. Alright, that one's solid. But this, where these jack posts in, this is going to be closed off because that side of the basement where the ladders are and the scaffolding, that was a closed off room. That's why the paint on the walls was different. It was a semi-finished room before. It had a ceiling, a little bit of work on the walls. So talking with the contractor to try and save money, you're probably going to just frame it in and leave it open, not bother finishing it off like it was before, and not put the ceiling back, just to save a few $100 that we can use for other more pressing issues. I'm fairly handy, so like sheeting off a wall and putting a ceiling up, installing a door, those are all things that are within my wheelhouse. So yeah, we're gonna, I think, just put the framing up, frame for the door, and leave it at that, and with the stairs in, and I'll finish that off in the future when I have time and money. But that's the goal. That's what we're at. So this is break time on Tuesday, day 2 of rebuilding, and we'll get some more video at the end of the day and show you what else has been going on. Thanks for watching. There we are. It's afternoon break time. The trusses are pretty well all in on both sides. We got a little end cap here put in, and they put 1-inch thick insulated foam with a vapor barrier wrapped on it, just to help on the sill joists here on the ends. And I still, I believe, got to put a cap in the corner there between those joists. And I still got to put the joists over the foam here, and the same thing, a cap at the end. But it's blocked, and sheeting's going down. So, well, there's still about 2 hours to work today, an hour and a half to work today. So I imagine they'll probably get this half sheeted, and tomorrow they'll finish that side. Also, I was talking with the contractor boss this morning. Before they can bring down these 2x4s that are holding up the roof, they got to build the center wall back here to carry the load from the trusses down to the basement floor along the beam here. But if you can see up there, the 2x4s on the wall is where, on the ceiling, sorry, is where the wall used to be that separated the back of the house from the front of the house. And that's about 4 to 6 inches off center of the beam. And the building inspector wants that wall built on the beam to carry load. So I'm going to lose about 4 to 6 inches of length on my bedroom. But it's not too bad, because I'm going to gain a foot on width with the rearrangement of the structure and rooms. So lose a little, gain a little, I guess. Yep. So work's progressing good today. I'm happy with the pace. This drill here is just the coolest. You don't have to bend over to put the screws into the floor. You just stand there and pull the trigger. And everything's preloaded on these little clips. It's great. So yep, we got the PL there to glue down the floor. All the sheeting's here. And we did open up the safety railing a bit to get the plywood in for the floor here. But I imagine that's going to have to go back up overnight. Just because, you know, some people need a safety railing. And yeah, so we still got to get that plumbing stack out of here. And the manifold underneath, I guess, still got to get pulled down too. They did take out the old storm doors today that were damaged by the fire, but they are plywooding up everything every night, so it shouldn't be an issue. Whatever little moisture is going to get in is not going to change anything, because I mean the water damage is already there, as you can see on the far end over there. We still got to cut that out and fix it. And here's where the joist came up and met in with the old beams. The old beam used to go to the end right here, but with the code, the new beam, because it's LVL, it's just this piece right here where my foot's on now. So that used to be my width of the old beam, and now it's a little bit narrower, but it's a little bit thicker. And being engineered lumber is supposed to be stronger than just a standard 2x10, which I believe the beam was made of 4 laminated 2x10s with a 2x4 on each side to carry the joists on a little mouth, which I guess you're no longer allowed to do, and put a mouth on a joist to carry the load, because apparently it weakens it. Yeah. And that's where we're at. Here's one of those clips for the plywood must have fell down when they were working. I'll bring that back upstairs so it don't go to waste. Yeah, you can see I got that on there. They had to make a couple of cutouts for the bolts that hold down the rim joists. And yeah, everything's well done. I'm happy with the way it looks so far. Yeah, you see right here, they had to do the same thing, a little cutout for a bolt that's holding down the rim joist. So my open air home is soon going to have a floor back in place. So I guess the swimming pool idea is out. It didn't fly too well with the building inspector anyway. Just a little fun with that anyway. We'll call it clickbait, I guess is the term. Yeah. So, new panel is installed by the electrician. There's no wiring run yet. They decided, instead of putting a temporary power, since the outside mast for the power was in one piece and not damaged by the fire, they basically came in and they sealed the cement, put on a foam and a piece of plywood here, put in a new panel, and they ran for a couple of plugs. So now we're just waiting on the utility to come and run the wires and attach them. And then we'll have power in the house just from 2 plugs out of the panel. Nothing, all the wire that's dangling there, and it's all coming out. Except for these 2, or this one here, and the other one's been pushed up over there as well. These are tech cables. One runs to my shed in the back, and the other one goes out to the garage to give power to the garage attached to the house. So those cables are going to stay, and they're going to get sealed with the rest of the house to get the scent locked in, but they're going to reattach to the panel to power my outbuildings. Yep. So the utility, of course, is running behind because of the COVID-19, and it might take, you know, a couple of more days till they get that hooked up, but it's coming. And you can see here, down this pipe right here, this is my municipal water entry. It's really dark there, but there's a valve there. And the water is still shut off at the street until a new valve can be put on to that entry. So that's what we got. Yeah. Imagine the scaffolding will all be taken out probably the end of day tomorrow. They're not going to need it. And here's some of these boards that were brought in here for joists were actually rejected because they're damaged. So they may get returned, or they may get cut up for blocking for other parts of the job. I'm not sure yet. And there you can see the cutoff of the beam, because the beam came, I guess they just take the measurement and add 3 feet just in case. So yeah, we did have to trim that in the morning. We installed the beam. And these steps will probably be coming out tomorrow. And then I'm told that's going to get doubled or tripled. I think I already covered that this morning. I'll head back up. So yeah, here's my progress for today. And hopefully we'll have more tomorrow. And I'll be able to show you as a finished floor by the end of the day tomorrow, I hope. I did get in contact today with the company that does the heat pumps in my area. They were shut down as well because of the quarantine. They're going to try and get out this week to check things out because stuff needs to get ordered. You know, the electrician's going to need to know if he's going with ducted heat pump, or if we're doing ducted heat pump or mini split. He's going to need to know so he can make sure the panel's set up and the wires are run to the right place. So yeah, just moving along real good. Moving along. I'm happy with how it's going. All right. We'll check back tomorrow with more of the rebuild progress. It's finally taking a turn. I'm happy with that. End of the day today. Back in the morning. We got almost half the floor sheet